Watching Your Wallet, sponsored by Wright Financial Group.
Well, from car repairs to housing disputes, consumer complaints can make a big impact on your budget. Tonight, we share a new report on the top complaints that folks brought to consumer protection agencies and where you can turn to for help. Here's Sashem Brey with Watching Your Wallet.
The Consumer Federation of America examines what everyday people experience when it comes to issues that impact their wallets. From bad car deals to landlord headaches, some complaints are costing families big money. In its latest report, the CFA zeroed in on the top 10 complaint categories reported to state and local consumer protection agencies.
The state and local consumer agencies who are resolving the complaints that we feature in this report, they are passionate about making sure that when consumers are treated unfairly or when their wallets are taken advantage of, consumers have someone to turn to and someone who's going to take up their case.
Katie McCann with CFA says auto-related issues ranked #1 for the 10th year in a row. That category includes new and used car sales, leases, auto repairs, and other vehicle-related complaints.
This is a huge issue because people need their cars to get to work, to pick up their kids from school, to get their groceries.
Second on the list, housing.
A lot of landlord-tenant issues. After that, we have professional services, and that includes a lot of different things, but what we see most common is contractors and housing repair. Fourth, we have retail issues, and that includes online marketplaces. And then fifth, financial services.
Fraud and scams ranked 6th. The CFA says the agencies in its survey handled more than 310,000 consumer complaints last year alone.
The participating agencies in our surveys, they provided over $890 million in relief to consumers. And that's not chump change. That's an amazing amount of money.
McCann says if you run into a similar problem, contact your state or local consumer protection agency and file a complaint.
Consumers do have power. They have power in the form of these state and local consumer protection agencies who are fighting on their behalf.
The other categories in CFA's top 10 include utilities, healthcare, travel and transportation, as well as food and hospitality. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Sashem Brey.